All right, enough of my borax Poindexter. We need action. Speaking of not much action, Wesley So versus Domínguez. Yeah, this is like Saturday night for you guys. Not much action. Frankly, delicious. Yeah, the truth hurts. By the way, there's a lawsuit and a countersuit with me and Lizzo about the truth hurts. So, and I think chess coach Ned is going to countersuit. And also, there's a lot of countersuits going on right now in federal court with me and Eric Rosen, right? And the judge thought it was sort of silly, and he actually ruled against both of us. And we were like, what? And he said, oh no, my verdict. So, the judge is going crazy over there. All jokes today were made up on the spot. And I'm not kidding. So far. Yeah. Oh no, my queen. You saw Lizzo's butt at the Lakers game? So you mean you couldn't see the game because her butt was in the way? Yeah, true story. It's funny. I saw her at the Lakers game too, and her date was Sir Mix-a-Lot for obvious reasons. Yeah. Also, if you didn't know this, sit down. Oh, wait. Oh, you're done? Lizzo's a vegan. God damn. I thought I was the biggest vegan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but kangaroo, that's an old joke. Terrible. Jokes and spaghetti. Okay, here's Wesley. And Wesley was very disappointing this game because if he wins, he could get clear first or tie for first. And in this position, he took on c5. No! That's like the most boring move. Okay. Now, white can play for an advantage, but Wesley, I think, didn't want to get an advantage. So, yeah, bishop e2. Come on. All right. So, in the engine says white's slightly better, but that's hard to believe. Yeah, Wesley retreats his bishop, retreats his knight. This is just equal. Okay. Now, in this position, normally, when I was doing commentary in the game, I was explaining after b5, we play like knight here, and knight to a5, which is what Wesley did with the other knight. But since Wesley played knight c3, after b5, you can't play the knight to b3. And also, if a4 happens, you can play b4. If you play knight bd2, he's not going to play b5 because of a4. Then b4 gives up all these squares and makes the bishop silly. And a5 separates the pawns. And it lifts and separates. Yeah. So actually, this was played by Karen before. And I was like, why did you do this? And she said it lifts and separates. Okay. Man, that joke was the best joke I ever told. Okay, top shelf. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll nipple that in the bud, and we'll keep going. b5, knight d2, knight b3. Yeah, now knight bd7 surprised me. I always assumed they play bishop b6 in these positions, which is okay. And then I guess they would play a4, a5. But he just went here because, white's losing a lot of time. Bishop here, knight here, knight here, knight here. So, and this bishop's not the greatest bishop of all time. Now, I would take that bishop, but Wesley played knight a5, which is also reasonable. Then he gave him the other bishop. He's got two bishops, one for each of you. Yeah. In fact, Karen used to date a guy. Okay, never mind. And I would have taken that bishop, but, he always plays the most passive move. Okay, knight e4. I mean, the engine still says white's better, but you got to be kidding me. Yeah. Always repeat. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, retreat. We treat. I got to leave for a second. I got to take a wicked yes. Okay. Good joke from Family Guy. Take. Yeah, I mean, it's just boring. Okay. And somehow Wesley got a tiny little advantage. Tiny little advantage. And it was funny, whenever I analyzed chess with Karen, she was like, I want to get a big advantage. And I said, tiny little is better. And she said, we were in bed last night. You said the same thing. Tiny little advantage. That's what you want. Okay. So he took on a4, which opens up the rook. And now Wesley played an excellent move. He played bishop takes a6. That's correct. Rook c7. Now it looks like it's just boring. Rook takes. Maybe black's better. But Wesley found the only move to keep some pressure, bishop c3. Now these pieces seem weird, but this is defended. This is attacked. This is semi-attacked. Yeah, that's another thing I was telling Karen is if you can't attack something, you could semi-attack it. And she's like, semi? You were saying that in bed last night too. And I was like, come on, stop. What did I do? You subscribed, but no message came. The baby Yaga 92. Let's see. I got Alt F4 Pro, Schwang. Yeah, it doesn't say you subscribed. Is that it? No, that's money. $10. Hooray, always repeat. Ricky doesn't win the bishop? No, because this bishop defends this knight. So if you attack my bishop, I'll move it away. Yeah. I could also play rook takes a4, attacking your bishop. But this knight's defended, so you can't skewer. Yeah. Let's see. The semi-joke went over your head. What are you, a child? Damn. That's right. Karen flew to Boston, so. Okay. Let's see if she's texting me about, the divorce papers she's sending me. All right. I'm good. It ain't over till it's over. Sammy Hagar. That's right. Unfortunately, Van Halen. Yeah. Okay. What about bishop b4? I don't know. That hangs this pawn. Do you guys realize white has a threat? No? All right. So he played bishop d6, which is the best move. It's probably the only move that retains equality. a3 is interesting, but this is just an excellent move because it gives the knight the c5 square. And it stops all kinds of tricks white has with bishop here later. So the knight's free to move. And, I mean, that's just an excellent move, seeing that he wants to play knight c5. Yeah. Frankly, great. Okay, always play bishop f1. Oh, he took this. The engine wants to play bishop f1 here. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. Also f3. Boo. But bishop f1 is better. Bishop f1 was his last chance, I think, to get an advantage. But, pawn's a pawn. Then he forked these guys. And Wesley played bishop b4, which was why he played rook takes a4. The complications are aplenty. Yeah. And unfortunately for Wesley, who had some good winning chances, I think, in this mainly drawn position, Domínguez found his way out here. He played the engine recommended bishop to d5. Of course, this bishop is hanging in a lot of variations. Now, you can't play knight takes a4 because rook takes c7 wins immediately. And black resigns. If you take this, then I take everything. This, and this. And white's just up a pawn. So that's, fine. And as Irina Crush pointed out on the stream, I thought this won the pawn back. But she pointed out this move wins. And if you attack the rook, I can just check you here. Or, I can't check on e5 because of here. Yeah, I guess rook d4 is the only winning move. Yeah, that's the only move that wins, but it does win. So the pawn's indirectly defended. All right. So Wesley thought when he took here, knight c5, bishop b4, he was looking good. And the main reason he's looking good is there's always this rook takes e4 after something like knight a6. So he played bishop d5, which makes the knight sort of silly on a5, stops rook takes e4, and now if it was black's move, knight takes a6 would win. So he played bishop f1, always play bishop f1. And white can't win here because bishop's attacked and everything's pinned and this is weak and this is trapped and this all makes sense now. So even though white is a pawn up, he has no advantage. I mean, black has too many threats. He's threatening the rook right now, and you can't move the rook because rook takes b4. If you captured the rook on the previous move after bishop f1, then again you're losing immediately. But after rook c8, sorry about stuttering there. I should have said rook 7 c8. I'm all 7s and 8s today. Now there's only one move for white. Although the engine says knight a4 is a move. God damn. Or knight c4. It's still a draw, but that's crazy. The idea is if you take the rook, I have this check. I mean, I'm not doing that because you can take the knight and then the rook's hanging. Okay, but it's still a draw. All right, so he played here. Rook takes. And this is just a dead draw. This pawn's hanging. If black gets his pawn back, black's obviously better with his two bishops and the knight on the side of the board. This pawn can't really be protected. So Wesley bailed out into the opposite colored bishop ending. And now he's threatening the bishop. But after bishop d6, the only way to protect the pawn is here, and this wins the pawn. So the game was sort of balanced throughout with Wesley having a slight advantage, but Domínguez figured out what to do, and they drew. Wesley didn't try super hard to win, but he made sure he had no losing chances. So Wesley had 2 wins and 7 draws, as did Domínguez. Also 2 wins and 7 draws. Yeah, my son is also Bort. The Baba Yaga 92 subscribed, even though he claimed he already subscribed. Hooray. Put it in A. That means something else. You're a Brazilian fan? How many are you? What's a Brazilian? Always play bishop f1. Why not bishop takes g7? Bishop takes g7 would be shallow and pedantic earlier in the game because at some point, like now, rook g8 attacks the bishop, and then you got a g2 problem. Yeah, so you don't want that to happen. Yeah, frankly, terrible. So bishop g7 was never really on the agenda because of rook g8. Other problem with bishop g7, assuming I'm not winning, is black could probably trap the bishop, and the bishop's going to stay like on this side of the board the rest of the game, and this pawn's going to be weak, and But yeah, rook g8 is sufficient to prevent that.